Got to take full ownership of your life. If we don't do that, likely we'll never get to the life that we don't need a break from. We'll likely not design the life that we're looking for if we don't take full ownership and responsibility. We talk about this on the team sometimes. We talk about leadership, talk about the first thing, like the first step in leadership is learning how to lead yourself. Before you can lead other people, before you can lead leaders, you have to learn how to lead yourself. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead other people. But you're a leader because you lead yourself on a day-to-day basis. Your thoughts, your actions, your choices. You're the leader of your life. You take ownership of those things. The mindset is if it is to be, it's up to me. If anything's going to happen in your life, if you're going to fix your health life, no one's coming to save you. You got to fix it. You want to change your relationships? No one's coming to fix it. You got to go fix it yourself. You got to go make that happen. You want to change your spiritual life? No one's coming to save that, right? You got to go do it. You want to change your financial life? No one's coming to save you. You got to do that yourself. April happens to be financial literacy month, so we're talking a lot about money. We're talking this, obviously, what you heard from ET just happened to go along with that. Some things to think about financially, guys, some things to pay attention to. He gave you some questions there. What financial decisions can you make today to secure your tomorrow? That's you taking ownership. That's you saying, no, not if the job does, if my boss does, if the government does, if this does. No, no, no. What decisions can you make? Because that's all you can control. What decisions can you make, right? To secure your financial tomorrow. You should ask yourself that question today because there's probably some things you're not doing. And it's just a decision. Maybe it's some information. Maybe it's budgeting. Maybe it's tracking. Maybe it's saving. Like, I don't know what it is for you, but there's probably some decisions you can make. Maybe it's not going somewhere to eat today. I don't know, but there's probably some financial decisions you can make today to secure your financial future. Something that ET talked about. He said, are you financially dependent on somebody else? Or are you taking full ownership? Are you financially dependent on somebody else? Are you taking full ownership for your current financial situation and your future financial situation? We talk about this type of stuff all the time, being in the money business, having money conversations. There's nothing wrong with having these conversations. You know why? Because most of this stuff is mindset. Money is just an energy. It just, right? It flows in and out. When we put a huge kind of weight around it, it doesn't flow in the way that it should. But we should be able to talk about it just like we talk about your emotional intelligence, your mental toughness, your mental health, your financial health. What are you doing today? Are you financially dependent on somebody? Is it your boss? Is it your job? Right? I always say you can't own your life if you don't own your income. I know that's not how we were taught. We were taught go to school, get good grades, get a good job, get some higher education, work at the job. Like I know that's what we were taught. But just understand you can't own your life if you don't own your income. That doesn't work that way. If someone always controls your income, technically they control your life. They can fire you at the worst times. You don't have ownership. So you got to own that part of it. It's a process to own it, but you got to own it. Third thing he said on there, how can a mindset of ownership change your financial life? He said it. How can a mindset of ownership change your financial life? Remember, what's the thesis? If you change your thinking, you change your life. If you change how you think about something, you take different steps toward you have different beliefs, creates different actions, creates different habits, which gives you a different outcome. So if you want an outcome to change in your financial life, it's going to start with how you think about money. And what ET said was maybe you need to have more of an ownership mindset around your financial life. That's just some things for Financial Literacy Month. That's just some things right now for you to take in to think, how can I take more ownership of just my financial life? How can I take more ownership of what I'm doing? But in general, this is the way it works in all the areas of your life. Remember, we're going off to design your ideal life. We're going off to create this life that you have life exactly where you want it. So you have to take responsibility for it. That's all this message is. It's too often that we get into a position that we start to look outside of ourselves as to the reasons why we are where we are. And that is not going to be for us, for people like you and I that want to go off and design this life. You got to take responsibility, because once you take responsibility, you know you can change it. That's the best part. Worst part is if you blame other people, you don't think it'll ever change. You lose hope. You start saying, oh, because of the government, nothing's going to change. Well, it doesn't matter. Oh, because of my spouse, nothing's going to change. Because of this relationship, nothing's. No, I take ownership of all these things. This is a trait of the most successful people. In our text, the 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class, it says the great ones take responsibility. Here's what it says in the text. It says one of the critical factors separating amateurs from pros is responsibility. People operating at a poverty and world class and working class levels of awareness often see themselves as victims of the powerful. They create invisible mental barriers that in their minds hold them back from moving up. Say that again. They create invisible mental barriers that in their minds hold them back from moving up. They blame other people for keeping them down, such as their parents, friends, or other influences during their childhood. People at the middle class level of awareness are a little more evolved, but tend to make safety and security their number one priorities. They hold on so tightly to what they have, they hold on so tightly to what they have that they fail to see the real abundance staring them straight in the face. Average people in this category are terrified of losing what they have because their mind is submerged in the cesspool of scarcity. People at this level truly believe their supply of money is limited, and if they lose what they have, they will never get it back. The majority of the population has this belief. People operating at the upper class levels of awareness tend to be unafraid, aggressive, ultra competitive warriors who approach life like a battle. They know that there's an abundance, and they are out to get it. The upper class tends to operate primarily from their ego. People at the world class level are a step ahead of the upper class because they operate from their spirit self rather than their ego self. The great ones have a thought process, philosophy, and habit all rolled into one that overshadows the rest. I am responsible. The world class realizes they are completely responsible for their success or failure, as well as responsible for giving back some of the blessings bestowed upon them as a result of their tremendous success. Operating from a world class level of awareness almost always precedes their success. The great ones keep marching forward, making a difference in themselves and in the world. Operating from a world class level of awareness almost always precedes success. You're looking for success, but are you operating out of a world class level of awareness, out of a world class level of thinking? Because that's how you get to the success. If you're not thinking properly about it, it's likely you won't get to the success. Watch out for this type of stuff around you. You know how we say, guys, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you haven't heard me say that, this will be the first time you heard me, but it's true, right? You're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. That means the 5 people that have your ear, that have your attention, that have your thoughts. You are the average of them. If they're all family, that's why you're all similar in certain areas. If it's a certain peer group, you are similar in lots of areas. Most importantly, you're similar in the way that you think, in the way that you think about things. When you get around people at a world class, upper class level, they're going to think about life differently. People that are advanced, right? The reason why I started this fasting journey is because I got introduced to information. I didn't fast prior to 3-4 years ago. 3-4 years ago, I got introduced to new information from somebody that was further ahead of me in my health journey. And they gave me some knowledge and some things that I could apply for myself because they thought differently. Well, the circle I was around wasn't having those conversations. They might have been good in business. They might have been good in their marriage, but they weren't good in their health. So I had to seek that information to get a higher level of awareness, then apply it so then I could be successful in my health. This is the way it works in all of the areas of your life. You need to become aware of these things. The people that you hear in your life that are like, this is holding me back. Or like it said up here, some invisible force, right? They create invisible mental barriers that in their minds hold them back from moving up, from changing their financial life, from changing their health life. There's some excuse, there's something holding them back, but it's all in their thinking. Then you get around people in the middle class level of awareness that are just, right, like it says here, they're just seeped in scarcity. They think nothing comes back, right? Like money's tough to get, right? Health is a challenge. Like all these things are tough. That's scarcity mindset. We can't be there either if we want to go off and design our ideal life. We can't believe that money is limited. The way that you think about money has you where you are financially. Maybe you need to change some of your thoughts around it so that you can get a different outcome with it. Maybe you grew up with the, right, money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees narrative. Those are scarcity narratives. So you might have to switch how you think about some things in order to get a different result. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to be aware. I just want you to be aware of where you sit. I want you to be aware of where your mind is. I want you to be aware of the thoughts that you have around the areas of your life that you want to improve. Sure, we might be able to talk about money. We might be able to dive in and have this conversation around your financial, right, mindset, your mindset around your finances. But again, I challenge you in all the areas. Success is all of the things. Where's your mindset around your health? Where's your mindset around your relationships, your spiritual life, the ownership that you need to take in order to change your life? Again, it says here the great ones have this thought process, philosophy, and habit. That's all rolled into one. That's what taking responsibility is. It's a thought process, it's a philosophy, it's how you operate, it's a value system, right? It's like a theory you have in your mind, it's a philosophy you live by, and then it's a habit, it's something that you do often. If you just said, I'm responsible, don't point the finger at anybody. Ever. Ever. Don't make the excuse, right? I know it's easier said than done, y'all. I'm not trying to just preach at you, but like I know it's easier said than done, but these are the things that changed my life when I took ownership. When you hear ET say some things like this, it's because he understands the exact same things that other successful people understand. It's like, oh, I just had to take ownership for my situation. I had to take ownership for where I'm at. I had to take ownership for the lack of knowledge or the lack of information or the lack of circle or the lack of finance. I have to take ownership. And when you say that you're responsible, your whole life changes because now you can go about changing it. Because now you can think differently about it, which is going to cause you to have different beliefs around it, which is going to cause you to create different actions around it, which is going to create different habits, which is going to create a different outcome for you. It all starts with up here. And so that's always my challenge to you guys. If you change your thinking, you change your life. Here's what it says in this quote. It says, success on any major scale requires you to accept responsibility. In the final analysis, the one quality that all successful people have is the ability to take on responsibility. If it is to be, it's up to me. If I'm going to make anything happen, I'm going to pray like it's up to God. I'm going to work like it's up to me. And the way that happens is we change our mindset. We're transformed by the renewing of our mind. When we think differently about situations, life changes. I was just on a call with one of my good buddies, one of my good college buddies. He was talking to me. He's getting mentorship from a rabbi, right? He's built a good relationship. Again, when you get around people that often seek mentorship, we just feed off of each other. And he said something, he was, going through a rough time. And he said, the rabbi basically told him like, hey, a lot of times this is just about a shift in perspective. It's not that your situation needs to change. It's just, you need to change how you look at your situation. And he said he took that information, it was the word that he needed, it was the seed that he needed right at that time because he was going through some rough stuff. And he just tried to shift his perspective. Again, there's a rabbi telling him this. Same philosophy, same concepts. It's not your situation that needs to change. It's how you think about your situation that needs to change. And if you do that, then the situation changes. Again, easier said than done. I'm not telling you this is easy, y'all, but it's worth it if you want to go off and design your ideal life. If you want to stay where you are, again, I preface this on a bunch of these calls. This isn't for everybody. There's a bunch of people that don't want to grow. They don't want to get better. They don't want to change their financial life. They're okay in their health life. They like their relationships. They've settled into a life that they're fine with. That's perfectly fine for them. But if you're here and you're like, no, there are things that I want. There's things that I want in my finances. There's things I want in my relationships. There's some other things I want. then you got to start adapting some of these habits and some of these traits. Success leaves clues, ladies and gentlemen. The action step for today says commit to taking total responsibility for everything that happens to you. This one change in thinking has the power to launch you to a world-class level faster than any other single idea. Just commit to taking total responsibility for everything that happens. You control your actions and your attitude. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your mood, for your attitude. Take responsibility for those things every single day. It's not someone that did that to you. You did that to yourself. Now you can change it if you really want to. And I know you do, because otherwise you wouldn't be here on these calls. You wouldn't be up on a Wednesday morning early. Some of y'all tapping in from the West Coast. Shout out to my guy BP on the call, right? Tapping in. It's only 7 a.m. over there. He's waking up at 6:30, jumping on these calls, making sure that he can feed his mind to be able to go off and build his ideal life. For all of you that are here, I know it's a sacrifice. Keep showing up. Keep showing up, and then keep doing the work. The work is what's required. That is the separator. It's how you think about it. Then you go to work changing your thinking. That takes work. It takes the hard work, the things that you don't want to do. You got to push yourself out of your comfort zone, ladies and gentlemen. But I believe in you. I know you can do it. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. If no one ever tells you that, I will always tell you that, because you need somebody in your corner speaking life into you. I speak life into myself. This morning, right? I'm coming off of a fast. I'm high-fiving myself in the mirror. I'm telling myself I'm a stud. Like, you're a stud, Chris. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. You're a stud. Nobody does this. You're amazing. That's why you're going to win, right? Like, I speak to myself well. If you don't speak to yourself well, you got to get around people that speak to you well, that encourage you, that lift you up. And then eventually you have enough of it that you just encourage yourself. I'm at a place I don't necessarily always need somebody to encourage me, because I can encourage myself. I know where I'm at. I know how I'm thinking. I know the fact that I'm progressing because I challenge myself. I want you to experience the exact same things, y'all. I love you guys. I want you to win. Go out there, make it happen today. Push yourself out your comfort zone. I'll see you back here on Friday. Take care.